Hello and welcome to Battle Ready. We salute, celebrate and applaud them. Flood, earthquake or terror, we seek their help. Yet the Indian soldier is often ignored. 10 years after Kargil, has anything changed? Is the Indian soldier still battling bureaucracy and outdated equipment? First in our series, bulletproof jackets. The Army's demands for effective protection are pending for years.
Images that are still etched on the nation's conscience. Images of young soldiers trekking up a daunting path and winning a war. But look closely, these were soldiers ill-equipped, fighting a war with just basic equipment, guts and grit. Even 5 years after the war was won, the Indian Army was still battling with the government, demanding better bulletproof jackets. CNN IBN has copies of letters written by the Rashtriya Rifles and Headquarters 16 Corps, dating as far back as 2004. Soldiers have been complaining the jackets are heavy, cumbersome and sag towards the front, thus leaving upper parts of the chest, shoulder and neck exposed to terrorist fire. Even with the protective gear, the Army says it has suffered fatal casualties. 28% men died taking shots in the chest region, 11% in the head and almost 14% died because their face and neck region was exposed.
The design of the jackets is only part of the problem. Add to it that the Army's bulletproof vests are more than 10 years old and weigh at least 10 kgs. That's in sharp contrast to this. Weighs about 6 kgs, is being easily manufactured and gives high levels of protection.
When India can send a satellite to the moon, I see no reason why we cannot have bulletproof jackets for our soldiers. There is a shortage of almost about 40 to 50% in the Indian Army. This is more on account of our production agencies not being able to give the right quality and the right quantity to the armed forces.
Barring a few emergency purchases, the Army has struggled to get new bulletproof vests for more than 10 years now. The changing threat perception and sometimes unrealistic weight parameters have added to the problem. In 1998, the Army first put out a requirement for bulletproof jackets. It was then looking at protection from weapons like a 9mm carbine. That requirement was modified in 2001 to include protection from more sophisticated weapons the enemy was using. Now, 8 years later, in the light of fresh threat perceptions and a more lethal enemy weapon, the Army is thinking afresh. Private industry like the Tatas believe they have the skills and the infrastructure to make a bulletproof jacket that suits specific needs of various combat operations.
One has to be clear about the ammunition that it should protect against. One should be clear about which part of the body, whether the torso, the front, the chest, the back, the groin, the neck, shoulders, which part of the body is require protection. One should also of course, be clear about what one is willing to pay for this.
The procedure is such that even if the Army was to make up its mind tomorrow and due processes followed, it could be years before the soldier on the ground gets to wear it.